recording. Today we are going to be looking at a silver Winston. So this is a new player, and he is trying to play Monkey and Rein. So a lot of today is going to be geared mostly towards like a newer player. So I won't go too in depth about a lot of things, but I'll give some basics, I'll give some like hero specific tech and whatnot. And I've been talking with Joe for a little bit, so he's heard me a little bit of what I have to say about these heroes, but let me actually, it should be fine. I'll boost the volume up a little bit. But. Okay. So Monkey is very hard to make work on this map. I will do my best to give you some pointers, but generally speaking, you're going to want tanks that are either more stationary, that can hold ground, stuff like Orisa, stuff like Rein, or things that are just impossible to catch, like Ball. So I know you're trying to play Rein and Winston. Excuse me. So I definitely probably would have opted for Rein, specifically on Control Center. But that's neither here nor there. You're playing Monkey. Okay. So this is probably the first thing you want to do when you come into Control Center is you want to try to take this. So generally what's going to happen is there's going to be a neutral fight right here over this high ground. And the reason that is because the positioning of this high ground is very good for doing damage. So if you take a look at this perspective, for example, right here, sure, there's like a little bit of area back behind this pillar where you can't see anything. But it's much easier to take fights from here. Just think about it if you're like a Cassidy or a Sojourn or something doing some damage here, as opposed to being the guy that's here doing some damage. So the problem with this sort of position, trying to fight like this, is that you're exposed to this sort of angle here. You're exposed to this sort of angle here, as well as what's in here. And you have to worry about this doorway here. And you have to worry about this. So taking point and fighting on point is like something you do when you have to do it. You want to get your backline and your squishies that want to be on high ground up into this sort of area. Or if, somebody has mobility, they can get up here. This is okay too. But this is really what you want to fight for at the beginning. So by going over here, if this were a little bit of a higher elo lobby, they would take that high ground control, and then you'd have to push into them in order to get it. And that's just going to be harder than if you just start there. Now, as a Monkey, you're not going to be able to contest this super well. So kind of what you would have to do is try to get to this corner right here and just sit here, zap people as they like try to come in, maybe pop your bubble if it's getting dangerous, and then just jump out. So you're not going to be able to do a whole lot because Monkey isn't the most tanky tank. So when you get here, if you run into 5 people, you're probably going to have to get out. But that's why Monkey isn't like super good here, is because it's all close quarters. There's not really a whole lot of jumping room. Oh, perfect. I said all that for nothing. Okay. Okay. So I've talked to Joe a little bit about this tech, but we'll just go over it real quick. Let me see, where am I at? 44 seconds. Let me just hop into a training real quick. Monkey. Okay, so your combo with monkey, this is what it should look like. You have a squishy, charge. I'm potato. I didn't do anything. You didn't see anything. I haven't gamed. But anyway, what it should look like is a charged right click. You jump, let go of the right click, and then melee and land on top of them. And it should give you a good chunk of burst damage. Let's do it on a stationary target since I'm garbage. So something like that. Charge your right click, jump, let go, melee, and then land. And it's going to do a good chunk of damage. Keep in mind these bots are 200 HP as opposed to the 250 that someone's going to have. But make sure you do it specifically in that order. The reason is you get a lot of time in your jump, so you can charge that right click to full. So you want to make sure you do the right click first, and then jumping, you can punch, and then the landing is going to animation cancel your punch. So as soon as you land, you can get into zapping. So that's like the basic. If you really want to min-max it, it would be this. I messed it up. But you have to zap on your way down and then punch, land, and that gives you the most amount of damage. It's hard to do, and it would take a little bit of practice getting used to. I have not played Monkey in a minute. I messed it up there again. But it's basically the same thing. It's just zap, left click, and then melee slam. That's going to give you the most bang for your buck. Okay, let's get back into this. So we were at 44 seconds. Go to 40. Okay. So now we talked about the mechanics. Now we need to talk about jumping and why you're jumping, whoever you're jumping. So you don't want to just jump someone because that's the first person you see. And I know this is like a newer player thing, so you don't really understand the heroes all too well, but jumping a Moira like this is effective. It's just actually net negative for you. So the reason for that is because Moira has her shift ability. And, okay, well, it should have, I don't know why it's on cooldown. It should be completely up. But she's going to have it nonetheless. But you're trading your jump for hers, effectively. And Moira's fade, like, she wants to use fade to get away from things. I mean, idealistically, she wants to use fade to get in and kill people. But she's totally fine trading her shift for yours because you're jumping onto her into her team's view. So you are effectively out of position here. And she is going to shift and fade away into her team. So she's going to be put back in position. So she's effectively trading positioning with you, which is good for her because her team can all shoot you and you can't get on the Moira, if that makes sense. So rather than immediately jumping on this Moira, because she hasn't used fade, as far as you know, you can just sit here and right-click, charge the Moira, take a few pots in, look over here, see if there's anything interesting to jump. But okay, so that's kind of what happened. She was a little late on the fade, but if she had traded her fade for your shift instantly, the cooldowns are very similar. I think fade is 1 second longer. But she can literally just run away from you the whole time. So you have to only jump the Moira after she's used fade. Okay. Okay. So this is a better jump. I don't know that I would have jumped here, but this is better. And the reason's a little bit more advanced, so I would just say you probably shouldn't have jumped this. The reason this jump's okay is because of this. So the Pharah Diva are looking forward at your team, meaning they're not helping their backline. So this is okay. But if that's not what went through your head of, oh, they're attacking my backline, I need to jump theirs, then this jump is not too great. And it's for the same reasoning that Moira can just shift out. Kiriko can also just shift out. She is a teleport. So she's out of there. You got Suzu out, which was good, but the Kiri shouldn't have used Suzu. Aside from like jumping, something I'm also noticing is you definitely don't right click enough. Pretty much anytime you have any downtime, anytime you're not holding left click, you should be holding right click and charging, doing some kind of damage, something, pressuring something. But okay, you're here. The bubble's good because you're planning on being here for a long time after you commit to a jump like that. This is good. Okay, so you can totally be here longer. Okay. Yeah, so you're jumping out with 600 HP. And you're not going to be able to come back in for 5 seconds. So rather than that, your shield is still up. So you can pressure some people a little bit more. You can left click a little bit more, play around your shield a little bit. Throw in some right clicks. Like you're still chilling. You're fine. I would probably, at this point, I'd probably stay here until my armor's gone. So that would give you another second or two that you could be here. So kind of the reason you want to do that is because if you give your team another second or two of them looking at you and you doing a lot of cleave damage, one, you're going to do more damage, so they're going to be lower HP, and two, everybody's focused on you right now, which means that your DPS and your supports have more space to just shoot things. They don't have to worry about dying, which means their shots are going to be more accurate, and they're going to be able to do more consistent damage instead of healing for your supports anyways. Your DPS just aren't going to have to worry about getting spotted or trading or anything like that. They can just solely focus on their damage. So by jumping out here, now there's no pressure on the backline. So instead of looking at a monkey, now they're looking at everything else, like this Diva's looking at your Reaper. What was Pharah shooting at? But we can kind of see here. So Moira's on the Lucio, your Reaper got fade popped. So instead of doing things to draw attention to yourself and make them think about you, you kind of just left. And you didn't have to leave. You could have stayed there longer. So this idea of being a nuisance in the backline or being a nuisance to the enemy team and making them think about you because you're getting so much value is what the community calls space. So you're giving your team the opportunity to not have to worry about their own lives and just deal damage. Okay, so you didn't have to jump for that. You could have just right-clicked. So here, this is good, this is good. I like the bubble, but I would have right-clicked the Pharah instead of jumping. And for two reasons, actually. So number one, right-clicking the Pharah is less committal. So if you sit here, throw in a right-click, maybe you kill her too. Like, it's going to be more consistent damage. You're not going to get any landing damage if you jump. The most you could do is zap melee. The other reason would be you just put your bubble down. So you don't want to jump out of your bubble. So when you're inside of your bubble right now, you could have effectively almost 700, actually, yeah, 760 HP because you've got your shield health plus your actual health. And while you're in your shield and your shield's taking damage, you can get healed. So it's effectively more HP. When you jump out of your bubble, you lose all the value of your bubble. So this jump would be better if you hadn't used your bubble. I'd be like, okay, you know, you're jumping the Pharah, that's fine. You'll get into their back line and live a little bit. You'll pop a bubble, you know, be a nuisance. But you're jumping in, and you're probably just going to have to hide, would be my guess. With 383 HP, no cooldowns. You probably won't get the kill, and you'll just have to hide. Yeah. Because otherwise you die if you don't hide. And you know that clearly. So we can see that like this, it would probably just be better to right click this. Or save your bubble. Or both. Right clicker and then jump in and use your bubble. Okay. So, I guess I'm kind of just thinking, what are you jumping? Because I'm actually not sure. You don't want to jump just to jump. You could very easily, with this level of a jump, you could have just walked forward. Right here. You could just press your W key and go zap them if you wanted to. You didn't have to jump for this. You absolutely should be jumping this Widow. And I would have liked to have seen you jump her earlier than now. Even. But I do like that you waited till your bubble's online to kind of engage. That's good. You could have done it a little bit earlier and then put your bubble down. So you're like, you lose a little of your armor, pop the bubble down, get some HP, you get your armor back, stuff like that. I think you also overjumped this. I think you were trying to get on the Moira, which we talked about is not a good target unless you've seen her fade. But actually we can, little Winston techie thing here too for newer players, 1 minute 20. So things you can do with Winston's jump. We talked about this the other day, but I'll show this just for content, is that if you shift and hold spacebar, you get this little extra jump. If I just regular shift, I land very stationary. If I hold spacebar, there's like an extra jump at the end. Additionally, you can actually adjust how long or how far Winston's jump goes. And I'm not talking about like where you aim your cursor. So you can actually press the S key before jumping. So this is a, let me see, do I have sprays? Okay, I do have sprays. So we'll say at the 40 meter mark, if I look at the head of this bot, actually let's do, I don't know. I don't know if this is a good range or not. We'll do the head of the bot. Sure. Okay. And then peanut butter. So that's how far you go. Just not doing anything, just pressing shift. If I hold S, significantly shorter. And the most ideal way to do this is you would actually press S before jumping, and you go even shorter. So that's literally a 10 meter jump. It's right there. And this is very good for if you have a target that's maybe like half HP, and you just want to get your jump damage on them, like your melee land, you would do it there. If you hold W, you go like like a smidge further. It's not too much. You can also do this with like A and D. These will move you off to the sides. So you have a lot more control over Winston's jump than you think you do. But yeah, the main thing you would use the most out of that is the S key jump. Very short jump. Okay, we were like minute 40 or so. Oh, we weren't a minute 40. You died. Oh, you switched Wiren. Okay. Let me see here. What happened? Oh gosh, that was a great sound. Okay. So yeah, Moira faded. This is fine. Okay. So remember when I talked about this, and you don't want to really fight on point unless you absolutely have to? It's kind of for this reason. So right now, look at all the angles you're getting shot from. So you've got Widow here, Kiri here, Diva behind you, Moira that you're like kind of going after / she's still doing damage to you. It's a lot of people, and you can't really deal with it. All right. And then you switch off Monkey here. Go Rein. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of why Monkey isn't really the greatest on this map. It is close range, so you would think that Monkey with the zap would be good, but Monkey likes isolated targets, and it's very hard to get an isolated target on this map. So you switch Rein. So this is good. Okay, so... Oh, actually, something I can mention real quick is the tank matchup. I kind of didn't talk about that at all. So with Monkey, Diva is very dangerous for you because of her left click. She's very close range, and you're very close range, and Diva just does more single target damage than you do. So in like a 1v1, Diva wins. For Rein, you can't really throw your fire strikes against the Diva. So it's for this reason. So you throw your second fire strike, and she just eats it. So it's like a wasted cooldown, essentially. And Diva has a lot of defense matrix. So there's really no way to time that. You just kind of have to get around the Diva with fire strikes. But just throwing them is kind of a waste. Okay, so I didn't like going in like this. And my reasoning is that you're not fully grouped. So right here, your main healer's dead, and the fight hasn't really started. So you're taking a completely disadvantaged fight by just having a Lucio healer. And so you're probably going to lose this if you try to fight. Or you could wait like 8 seconds and get your Ana back, which is going to be the better play. If you fight now, the fight might last, I don't know, 15 seconds. And then everybody has to respawn, which is about 8 seconds. So you're losing like 25 seconds, give or take, which is going to be about 25% of the control capture. Maybe more like 35. It's like a little more than a tick per second. But you're basically just giving them a free fight if you try to fight. And they get more ult charge out of it because they're going to kill you and you're not going to kill them. So as soon as my Ana's dead, I'm like, all right, let's chill, let's back up. I would have liked here. This would be okay if you were like trying to pin the diva back. So if you like kind of went like this and then tried to pin her back into your team, that'd be fine. But by actually just trying to take the fight, you actually just lose. All right, hold up 1 second. I have to send a text. Alrighty. Okay. All right, let me relook at this a little bit. So, this is kind of my pet peeve with Rein. Okay, 223. I talked about this in my why one tricking Rein is bad for you video a little bit. I kind of mentioned some tech about Reinhardt and how to play it and actually how to get value out of it. So your shield is not just like I hold up shield, walk forward. If you do that, your shield's just going to break. So the way you want to do this is like you're in that little choke here or whatever. You want to do this. So basically what this is going to do is it's faster than just walking. And you're going to split the damage between your shield and your health. And the reason that's good is just like what I was explaining with Winston, how effectively right now you have almost 2,000 HP between the shield and your health. If your shield takes a little bit of damage, we'll just do this for a demonstration. Oh wow, that's no HP. Never mind. Say you do this, you're walking up, and you've taken, I don't know, 200 damage on your shield, 100 damage on your health. So you're down 300 of your total HP, but you can still hold up the shield and get healed back to full health. So by just holding up the shield, your healers cannot heal the HP on your shield, but they can heal the HP in your health. So you want to take mixed damage. If you take a little bit of HP, you don't want to take a lot. You still want to be in your armor. That's kind of the key thing here, because your armor is going to reduce a lot of the damage that you're taking. So you're effectively getting more value out of your HP by taking some chip damage on your armor, letting your healers heal that back up. It's way better to take like 200, we'll say like 200 damage on your armor is better than like, okay, 200 damage on your armor, 200 damage on your shield is way better than 400 damage on your shield, because the 200 damage on your armor is going to get healed up over time, whereas your supports can't help you with your shield health. So just popping up your shield every now and then, do the jumps. You're going to get way more value out of it. You'll move faster. It's all around just the way better play to scale up with Reinhardt. Okay. So basically, like, for example, just here, you could have, 200 HP on your health, and then 1250 HP on your shield. And then your health would be getting healed back up. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make. This is fine. So going on the Kiri there is good. You forced out TP. You did not have to use your shield for this. It's the only thing I'm going to gripe about this, is that you're right next to a corner. So instead of walking back here, you could have just pressed D. Dropped your shield. That way your shield still has 1,000 HP. Okay. So this is too much focus on the diva. So your hammer does 100 damage. And if you think about that in terms of percentages, or actually a way more friendly way of doing that is, how many swings is it going to take you to kill something? If you look at a diva's HP, 600 plus armor, so she's going to negate a little bit of that. But we'll say 7 swings, right? Give or take. Say she just takes no damage from any other source. 7 swings to kill a diva. So looking at the rate that Reinhardt swings, a few seconds, but 7 swings. If you look at the HP of a Kiriko, which is right here, so it's actually closer than the diva is. The Kiriko's HP is 221, so 3 swings. So it's going to take you half the time to kill a Kiriko than it will a diva. So you're going to get more value out of your swings by swinging on a squishy, because you're putting more pressure on them. You could swing 2 times on a diva, and she didn't care. She's just like, okay, sure. I still have like most of my HP. You swing 2 times on a Kiriko, she's like, holy crap, I'm 20 HP, help me please. And it's just way different. It's so much more value. Okay, that's fine. This is good. This is good. Yes, 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 yes. That was good. That was really good. Okay. So you can even just see it here. You swung 3 times on the diva. She didn't care, right? You get on the squishies, and they care a lot. And you just get a triple kill and win the fight for your team. It's huge. Also there, I probably would have just pressed shift again and canceled the pin once you saw you weren't going to hit it, but it's kind of nitpicky. But no, you could have done that. That probably would have been better. Okay. So here, when you have Shatter, you can do some really like nasty trick plays. So flank shatters are always nasty. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying you can think about it. It's an option. I probably would not be fire striking. Well, okay. The point I was going to make is that I wouldn't be fire striking because you're feeding support ultimates and you're not building your shatter. They both have ultimate, so it's fine. But I can pretty much guarantee you weren't tracking that. The fire strike would be okay if it was like your team was spamming one area and they didn't have a diva, so you could potentially get a kill. With the diva, you're probably not going to get a kill. You're probably just doing some extra damage. Oh my goodness, bro. This would have been so good. Right here. Cancel shatter. Or not cancel shatter. Cancel charge. Shatter. Oh, that would have been so juicy. But you're chasing the diva. Yeah, man. Just shatter this. They're all behind you. That would have been so big. That's team fight winning. Press the Q. Press the Q. Press Q. Yes. Better late than never. All right, good. It was late, but you got the right idea. That was really good. All right. So you can push up a little bit more. You can hold this corner. This will give you some opportunity to swing if they start pushing up. You can put some pressure on them. By being back here, the thing is they're poking you. And as a Rein, you don't really have poke. So you want to be as close as possible to the action. So this corner would just be way better for you. Okay. You and I both know that's not what you meant to happen. So here, I probably just would have held this corner. Peek out, throw some fire strikes. Peek out, throw some fire strikes. But just hold this. It's really hard to hold anything else from this angle. You can like kind of hold this pillar, but I don't really like doing it because then you have to worry about this. People can come around, start poking you this way. So I would recommend just, hold this if they're pushed out like this. Lucky pin, but we'll say calculated. Are you walking toward the diva bomb? You are. So if you can avoid it, just avoid it. The only exception to that is if you have a teammate that's stuck and you like have to help them. You have to go shield, something like that. But you pretty much like right here, you're chilling. You're half HP, so you have to be careful. But you walked up to shield the diva bomb. But you kind of just exposed your back to the enemy team, which is why you die here. Like, Ana just gets a free nade on you and you're low HP, so then there's nothing you can do. Granted, you probably would have lost that fight anyways, but the idea being, if you can just avoid the diva bomb, just avoid it. Okay. So here, I definitely think you need to charge in here because the W key is just really slow. So right now, your Reaper's in, your Lucio's going in, just shift here and then start swinging. Just go ham. You have a Coalescence on you too. Okay. This is good. Okay. All right. I like this. Okay. So you could totally just shatter this Junkrat. He is the only person that's here. So he's the only threat really to touching him and Moira. You could just eliminate the Junkrat. Okay, it didn't end up mattering, but so you definitely should have shattered that diva. So in situations like this, you're pretty much just trying to make sure they don't touch. So stuns, boops, anything like that. So as soon as you see this diva coming in, insta shatter. Okay, so now we've given them a chance, which is scary. I'd still just be using shatter on something. Okay. That was good. That was good. You just could have done it a lot earlier, but nice. Okay, we're on the Rein again. So, okay, you do path this way. I was going to wonder. This is dangerous because if they have a wrecking ball or something, or even a Lucio, there are Lucios that can speed out here, and they can get here before you do, and they can boop you off. As a Rein, you don't really have to worry about that too much because you have a lot of knockback resistance. But if your team follows you, they could get booped off. So this area, very, 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 very risky. Generally speaking, you're just going to want to come out here into a neutral fight. I'd probably just recommend going into the courtyard and trying to play with this corner if you can. You don't get punished for this, so it's fine. And this is really good positioning now. It's just very risky to go that way. Okay. Just swing. Yep. I think you just got dizzy. I think that's what happened here. Because you were on the venture, and this is really good. And you should have just followed her, but... yeah, I mean... you got slept. You had to get what you could. Okay. So, isn't your team... yeah, your team's fighting. So you need to come participate. Yeah, you could be very impactful here. Okay. So, I know you love the boops, but you can't boop a diva. Okay, she's got boosters. She can fly. I respect the memes though. This is good. Nice. Yes. Get her. Yes. Good. Yes. And I'm pretty sure you canceled that charge too, right? Yeah, you did. Nice. Yeah, this was good. Okay. It's all good. Okay. Diva's just kind of feeding you here. Just don't use Shatter and we're Gucci. Nice. All right, yeah. No, that was good. All right. So holding positions here. If you can, this is the best spot for you as a Reinhardt to be. And you want to keep them stuffed into this area. It's really hard to break out of. They can route this way. to try to go around. But if you see them routing, you can just walk over here. It's quicker for you to walk from here to here than it is for them to walk all the way around. So you can always stuff them. The only other things you got to look out is for like them coming up here. But if you don't see anybody here, you can actually kind of see them as they're going on the high ground with these stairs. You can kind of see there's line of sight here. So if you see that and they're all going there, you can just back up to this type of corner and then just play here. But you definitely don't want to play on point. You're just giving them a lot of space for free. Yeah, there's a whole fight going on out here. Okay. So generally speaking, when you're pinning, you do want to target squishies because you'll insta-kill them. The tank, you do some damage. It can get healed up. It can lead to an elimination, but it's going to be a lot more consistent if you're doing it on squishies. Okay, again, you just don't want to be chilling on point the whole time, but we've already talked about that. This is interesting. Okay, you're pinning back. This is fine. Okay. You care about point way too much. The whole team is here. If you press Q right now, they're all dead. So the point matters. Yes, that's how you win the game. But your secondary way of winning the game is to just kill them and then take the point. So, like, let's say you shatter everybody here, just for argument's sake. So you do this pin right here, shatter all of them, but Diva escapes, goes and caps point. Okay. Everybody else is dead. Just go point, kill Diva, recap it, and you're fine. The point only matters to a certain extent. Killing them so that they can't cap the point is good. I would rather kill them so they can't contest than contest them on the point. Okay, yeah, you definitely expose your back too much on these Diva bombs. So, right here when she throws it, it's going this way. So you can just shield up and then back up this way. By doing what you did, I just want you to see this from, let's say, the enemy honest perspective. Just to show you what this looks like, because I think you're just probably not aware. You're free. She can do whatever she wants with you. Good shatter. You got mech killed, though, so joke's on you. Okay, but now they actually cap and flip. So, again, you could have shattered them all here, and they're all dead, and then maybe they recap. They probably won't, but maybe they do. And then worst case scenario, you just have to kill them while they're staggering in. Okay, you have to shield this. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that does a lot of damage. Venture Alt will two-shot squishies. So you have to come back and deal with this. She just totally dropped the ball on this. I don't know what she's alting, but worked out for you, I guess, but you definitely have to help with that. Okay. Okay. All right. So I guess I'll just give you some TLDR key highlight points of everything for Monkey. Your jumps need to have purpose, and you need to make sure that what you're jumping can't escape. I know as a newer player, this is going to be not something you can do immediately, but I want you to pick a specific target, and then when you jump them, can you kill them? Do they get away? What happens? If you jump someone and then poof, they're just gone, then okay, well, maybe I need to wait for them to use that first and then jump them. Also, right click a lot more. I don't think I saw you right click one time this match, which is a really big deal because that's how you poke, and that's really important. That's how you build ultimate a little bit better. You're just going to get way more value by doing that. And just the punch land thing. I know we've kind of talked about that. And you said you're trying to learn it, and it's still not quite there for you yet, which I get. So just keep working on that. I think that's probably the main things I saw for Monkey. And squishy priority. Don't worry about Diva. Rein. Make sure that you're not turning your back to the enemy. You do that a lot with Diva bombs, and that's really bad. That just gets you killed instantly. Your shatters are also like really late. Honestly, as soon as you get shatter, the second you see a good opportunity to use it, just use it. Like, as soon as your ultimate's available, I just want you thinking, okay, shatter. Like, I'm looking for this, and just use it. That way, you can get a lot more shatters. So, the idea is, you know, when you have full ultimate, you can't charge to your next shatter, otherwise it wouldn't be a big deal. But you just have to use it, get value out of it, and then get the cycle going again. And then I feel like there was something else with Rein, and it's not coming to me. I should probably take notes to TLDR this. I guess, you know, squishy priority. We talked about that a little bit. We were chasing the Diva instead of, you know, 7 swings to hurt a Diva and 3 swings to kill a squishy. Big difference. But definitely the two big things I saw from the Rein was just turning your back to the enemy way too much, and then not using your shatter. So, give you a little bit to work on. So, thank you all for stopping by and watching. Appreciate it. And I'll catch you later.